All right, review for Kraven the Hunter, the terrible, terrible, terrible movie. So finally watch this, and wow, just wow. Uh, this movie's so terrible. Movie's so terrible. This is a movie about a quote unquote hunter. But to be fair, I'm not a big Spider-Man guy. I don't know anything about the character really. I used to watch the old cartoon. You know, that's about it. He hunts other hunters. That's his thing. He really hates hunters. This is a movie where he's on the savannah when he's in Africa. He's surrounded by quote unquote animals, and all the animals in this movie are CGI. I think when in the beginning he kills like an elk kind of thing, with his, or I think it's an impala, and with his father, who is played by the great Russell Crowe. And I think when it's dead on the ground, that was an actual prop. I think. Other than that, as far as I can tell, all the animals are CGI. You would think if you make a movie like this, you'd actually want to get some shots of real animals. I mean, I don't know. And it's bad CGI. I can tell. It's just terrible. Like, when he's a kid, he gets mauled by a lion, CGI, and then his father, Russell Crowe, cuts the lion's head off and puts it on a mount for him in his house, CGI. Even the head, even just the head of the lion is CGI in the house. Just what, like you can't get your makeup costume people to make a fake lion head at least. This movie is so lazy, and then at the end of the movie, I think they're caribou. They're in Africa. They're stampeding, all CGI, and it's bad CGI. You would think by this point in movies they know how to do animals, but I guess not. This movie bombed hard. It made 61.5 million total. Its budget says it's 100 to 130 million. Let's say it's 120. You know, and then you spend another 100 million on marketing, on the trailers, on posters, and blah blah blah, promotions. And so it's a huge bomb. This is after Madam Web bombed. This is all going to be spoilers too. It's not even worth. This movie's 2 hours long. 2 hours for this. You need 2 hours to tell this story. Oh God. If you could do me a favor and smash that like button, it really helps the channel. And back to this POS. Oh man, this movie sucks. It's so boring. This movie's incredibly boring and slow. It's like molasses. And the movie has like a 20-25 minute flashback scene when he's a teenager. You need that long for flashback? And basically all they're doing is they're showing how he was created, which is he gets mauled by a lion when he's hunting with his father and his brother. And then they're in Africa, and this black lady gets this magic potion from this other woman, and she's Calypso, another comic book character. And then she finds him because the lion takes him away. She gives him the magic potion. This then makes his eyes look like Anakin Skywalker in Revenge of the Sith for some reason. And that kind of comes and goes. It's like It's like, okay, it happens, then then it stops, and he has Aaron Taylor Johnson's eyes. And then when he's in the hospital, they think he's dead. He was dead for 3 minutes, and then he wakes, and he has the eyes. And then they go away. And I don't know if they ever come back, actually. It's strange. I don't understand his powers. They never really explain what this magic potion is. I mean, barely. And I don't understand his powers. Does this give him the powers of a lion? Like, what are his powers? Like, he seems to just have super strength, and he's really tough, but I don't know. I mean, you can explain it a little bit. I understand it's, it's a comic book, it's ridiculous, but I think you could do a better job in this freaking movie. And then his half-brother, Dimitri, is kidnapped, and Kraven's going around, and he's killing poachers, and I mean, that's another problem I have with the movie is some of the people he's killing. Like, I understand that I'm supposed to hate hunters, but I mean, they're just hunters. Is that worthy of you being killed? Like, I don't know. Like, the movie just assumes you're gonna hate them, and it's like, well, I mean, I get if you're killing like endangered species, that's really messed up, right? But you should go to jail for that. It doesn't mean you should be killed. So he's just killing them, and I don't know. Some of them I think are just hunters, and then later he's like, oh, some of these guys are connected to drugs and human trafficking. So okay, but they don't really ever show that really. So I kind of have a problem with that. You're supposed to like this character, but I don't really like him that much. And when he's a teenager, he's just a whiny teenager. He hates his father. They barely explain that. His half-brother, Dimitri, seems to like his father, and he's actually decent to him. And I like, it's just... Oh my God. Like, they don't explain why we're supposed to hate Russell Crowe. I don't think they explain it good enough anyways, which is funny because there's like a 25-minute flashback, which isn't even really needed at all in the movie. Like, it's like you do this 25-minute flashback to, show the creation of his character and why he hates hunters because his father is a hunter. It's like, okay, so you're a big PETA guy? I mean, all right, but do you just kill people because they hunt? I mean, does he go around in America and Canada and kill legal hunters? People that have hunting licenses and, hunting, it's like sometimes they have to, cull the herd or whatever. There's like too many, wolves, or there's too many coyotes or something, or there's too many deer. There's a lot of deer in America. And sometimes they have to, kill them. I mean, does that make them worthy of death? I don't know. I kind of had a problem with that. Like, we're just okay. So we're supposed to hate these hunters, okay? And then he's going around killing these guys. Yeah, his brother gets kidnapped. There's, oh my God, the rhinos in this, but he's terrible. It's terrible CGI, and he's not even that big. There's like no reason I could see why you couldn't just put the guy in makeup. He wasn't even that big. He got a little bigger when he turned into the rhino. And he wears this backpack with, again, magic juice. But this makes him not turn into the rhino, because they whatever fried his body or whatever with rhino juice, and now he just turns into the rhino, and this backpack with this magic juice makes him not turn into the rhino. And the final, and then the guy that played the rhino, I thought it was boring. There's another villain called the Foreigner, I don't quite understand. I mean, at least with the Rhino, I understand his powers. I don't really understand Kraven's, and also I don't really understand the Foreigner's powers, because it seems like he can hypnotize people, but he also kind of has like super speed. That's what it seemed like. And then he's out there trying to find Kraven. And man, this movie is so bad. I mean, it's so bad. And then the final fight with the Rhino it just looks bad. He's jumping on cars trying to get to Kraven. Like bad CGI. And oh, my only weakness, I have this hole in my side. You would think he would like wear like a suit around it or something to protect himself. And then Kraven just like shoves a rod in it. And then he chains him up. And there's these stampeding I think they're caribou. Connects him to them, drags him off, gets trampled, and I assume he's dead. So, and then at the end of the movie, his brother, who basically the whole movie has been a little bitch. A little bitch. He got kidnapped. He's being smacked around. Even Russell Crowe kind of makes fun of him. Like, you know, you are like my son, but you're a little bitch, and you need to toughen up. And then at the end of the movie, and then Aaron Taylor Johnson, Kraven, finds out that Russell Crowe was behind the whole thing, and he was behind the whole thing, and then he has a bear who's terrible CGI, like everything in this movie, and he's like in the woods in like Russia, and there's this bear, and then Aaron Taylor Johnson takes all his dad's bullets, and the bear mauls him to death, and we assume Russell Crowe's dead. And then he goes and sees his half brother Dimitri, who's like a singer, and he owns like or really his dad owned a singing lounge, and it's a bar. And then his brother's like, I'm gonna keep, you know, the father's business going, which is like, you know, a legal business. And then he's like, no, you shouldn't do that. You should sell it all off. And then he's like, no, I'm not gonna. And then it's revealed, oh, he's the chameleon. And throughout the movie, some people say, oh, you're like a chameleon. And I didn't really understand that. Like, why? Like, they didn't really explain that. I mean, he's just kind of like afraid of everything. And like at one point, Russell Crowe is in the bar with his son, and his son's singing, and he's listening to him. And then people try and kill Russell Crowe, but he's able to fight him back. And his son Dimitri just hides under the piano, but then he gets really angry at him, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you save me? Like, why don't you fight these guys?" And it's like, well, to be fair to Dimitri, he is a lounge singer. He doesn't have a gun. You know, you have a bunch of hired thugs. Like, why should he go and beat them up? I mean, he doesn't even have a weapon. It's like, I don't know. I just thought he was a little harsh on him there. And I get Russell Crowe's like this big macho guy. He's all about hunting, you know, and I don't know. Like, I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think he's a good actor. I mean, he's in Nosferatu. I think he's really good in that as like the friend. You know, I thought he's a good actor. He's in a Bullet Train. I liked that with Brad Pitt. thought he was good in that. Obviously, he's kick-ass, and you know, it was a while ago. He's, you know, good as kick-ass, but in this though, he's just I don't know. I mean, he's okay. He's okay, but in the flashback scenes when he's a teenager, it's not even him, and that's like 20 minutes. Like it's like 20-25 minutes of the movie. It just seemed like an odd choice because they open with him killing some poachers, which again, I don't really like poachers, but does that mean you deserve to die? Shouldn't you just go to jail? But you know, I guess he's a villain. These movies are just weird. It's like, should you really have a movie about Kraven the Hunter without Spider-Man? Seems like a bad idea. Oh wait, it was because it was a massive flop. I mean, how much did Madam Web make? That at least made $100 million. Still a huge flop. But that at least made 100 mil worldwide. So, wow. Just wow. And it just throughout the movie, it just really annoyed me that all of the animals are CGI. Like, that's just incredible to me. Make a movie, Kraven the Hunter, with like, you know, supposedly, you know, you're in Africa and hunting, and on the, you know, the hunt, and there's lions and there's, you know, caribou, and there's all these wild animals, but they're all CGI. It's just, and it looks bad. It just seems like that was a huge wasted opportunity, you know? And like, I get it, you have to be safe, but come on, they've been doing this in Hollywood for 100 years. I mean, especially now, you could probably shoot the animal, I mean, with a camera, not actually shoot it. Film the animal with a camera. Film Aaron Taylor Johnson or whatever you're trying to do with the actors, and then digitally cut and paste them into the scene. I mean, you could probably easily do that. But man, that really annoyed me in the movie, and it just made me check out of the movie more. It just made it more boring because it's just bad CGI over and over and over again, and the rhino's bad CGI, and I don't care about the foreigner character. You know, and I don't care about Calypso. She kind of comes in and out of the movie, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, he kind of just shows up and he finds her and he thanks her for saving his life. And then he's kind of living out in the middle of nowhere in this giant kind of hut thing. And then she goes out there with him. Okay, in the Wikipedia, it says the foreigner, an assassin who uses ocular hypnosis to disorient his targets. I mean, okay, but it seemed like he had super speed, though, at least in one scene. Oh, I don't know. This movie doesn't explain their powers very well. But yeah, so just, it's a terrible movie. It's boring as hell. Aaron Taylor Johnson isn't bad. I'm a big fan of Russell Crowe. He's kind of chewing the scenery. He has a Russian accent. Seems like he's kind of having some fun. But and also when I was thinking, I think Russell Crowe would be a better Kraven than Aaron Taylor Johnson. And I know he's like, there's, you know, he's too old and he's got to lose weight, but I don't know. I just think he would have been a better choice for Kraven, because I'd rather watch Russell Crowe than Aaron Taylor Johnson. And it seemed like he was having maybe a better time than Aaron Taylor was filming this movie. I don't know. But, I mean, like I said, Aaron Taylor's not the problem with the movie. The problem's the script's terrible. Was it written by AI? I mean, it felt very just paint by numbers and just very lazy. Very lazy. the director, J.C. Chandor, he made Margin Call, which is, I watched it a long time ago. I remember enjoying it. It's a good movie. I haven't seen his other movies except for A Most Violent Year, and I hated that movie. I absolutely hated that movie when it came out. I remember it got tons of praise. I think it was nominated for a few Oscars. A Most Violent Year, I called it a most boring year. Movie's incredibly boring, just like this movie. So maybe he just liked boring movies. Maybe that's his thing. So it's a weird choice for a comic book movie. And then he made a movie called All Is Lost, which I haven't seen that. Most Violent Year, most boring year. Triple Frontier, haven't seen that. And then he made Kraven. Kraven the Cunter. Man, this is, oh, wow. So, the screenplay is written by three people wrote this piece of crap. Wow. 3 people. It takes 3 people to write this script. So, yeah, now is this worse or better than Madam Web and Morbius? I'd say okay, I would say it's better than Madam Web. And that movie's incredibly boring too. I'd say it's better than Madam Web. Slightly. I'd say it's about on par with Morbius. I'd probably say. Now, I like Aaron Taylor Johnson more as an actor than the guy in Morbius, Jared Leto. Not a massive Jared Leto fan. I'm just not. So I'd probably give this the slight edge over that. Madam Web is a spectacle of boredom. It's a spectacle of why would you ever make this movie about this character? At least with Kraven, I can kind of understand why, but I think it's a bad idea to not have Spider-Man in it. And then of course, his deepest fears are about spiders, and his mom went nuts. And then also with the backstory, he hates his father, but I don't think there was ever that good of reasons why. He hates his father, I guess, because he's a hunter, and he blames his mother's death on him, which I didn't think sounded fair. Because the mom was nuts, and so it's like, I don't know, it's like they don't, like, this movie takes forever to explain some stuff, but it doesn't even do it well. It's kind of incredible, actually. Like, you have a 25-minute flashback, but you can't even explain, why he hates hunters so much, why he hates his father so much. And I don't think it was done well, at least. I don't think there's enough there for you to really hate Russell Crowe, because whenever he was in the movie actually picked up a little bit of energy, in my opinion. So, yeah, and then his brother is like, oh, I went to this doctor, and I'm now the chameleon, and I can look like you, but it's like, it comes out of, like, nowhere. So, yeah, and some people will be like, oh, you're being too hard on the movie, it's just a comic book movie. Yeah, but some of them are good, and some of them are not, and this is the bad one. Like a good one that came out recently, Deadpool and Wolverine. That's how you do it. This is terrible. Now, is it better than Venom and Venom 2? I haven't seen Venom 3 yet. Venom 2 is pretty bad. I'd say the first Venom's definitely better than this, though. Definitely. And then Sony apparently, like it said, oh yeah, we could have put Spider-Man in all of these movies. It's like, why wouldn't you? Especially this one. I mean, you should have had Spider-Man in it. It would have made way more money. But then I guess Aaron Taylor Johnson wouldn't really want to do it because then it would have been a Spider-Man movie, right? So, yeah, absolutely atrocious. I'd say avoid the movie unless you're a big Aaron Taylor Johnson fan or Russell Crowe fan, because the villains are weak. Rhino CGI is terrible. His weakness is just ridiculous. Like, yeah, it made, well, this says 60 million, so it made 59 million. Madam Web made 100 million. What did Morbius make? It's Morbin time. Morbius made 162 million. Wow, so it made way more than these. I guess Jared Leto's like, well, at least mine made 162 million. So I guess this is the last of the spin-offs about villains who aren't villains, but they're anti-heroes or something. Although I'd say Kraven is kind of a villain in this. I mean, you know, like I explained. So this made the least, and they're not going to be making any more of these, which is a good thing. So, but yeah, that's about it though. Terrible movie. It's 2 hours long. Like, it slowly gets to 2, finally molasses-like. It's just, wow. Like, you really needed 2 hours for this story. You couldn't do it in an hour and a half. Like, ridiculous. But yeah, I'll see you next time.